Hello everybody, Bobby here, and today we'll be taking a look at the Neca Toys GameStop exclusive 90s Ninja Turtles figures. So these are based off the 90s film, the first one. Pretty good figures, I like them. They got pretty good accessories for the most part. We're not going to take a look at all their boxes. I'll show you what one of theirs looks like. Here's Mikey's. You're going to have Turtles here at the bottom coming out of the sewer. Michelangelo or whatever specific turtle you're buying at the bottom's name. GameStop exclusive. Nickelodeon. You're going to have a promotional picture of your turtle on the side. More on the other side. Kind of looks like it's supposed to look like it's from the VHS tape. But here's the issue. These figures at the bottom and at the top, they are from the bigger version of these guys. So whatever poses you're seeing them in, probably can't really do that. Just saying. I tried to get Mikey in that nunchucks thing, and I just couldn't do it. Now, let me just say, before you get these guys open and moving around, put them under a heat dryer, a blow dryer, because their joints are very stiff. Now, I didn't have any major breaks on the whole figures at all. I did have a break on this hand, and I'll explain why in a second. But you just be careful. Only real issues that I had by doing that is Leo's sheath split open, and I had to super glue that back. Mikey's arm was extremely loose now, and I'm scared to move it. And that is really irritating when I have really loose joints that don't like to stay in a pose. That really aggravates me. And Donnie's little fabric loops that hold his bow staff is, it came apart. At least this top one. So either A, super glue it, or B, just replace it, or bands or something. I don't know, and I really don't care at this point. Because these hands right here kind of ruin the set for me, the way they did these. Now, I was really excited about picking these guys up, but I didn't think that the hands were going to be so squishy. And that's a really bad issue, because where's it at? Right here. This hand's broken. And I'll show you. Look. It's very, very flexible. Now, the more normal hands, they're harder plastic. And that's mainly for so they can hold their weapons. But the joint right here, the peg, yeah, that's a tight peg. That's a tight fit in there. And that's good for the most part, right? Should be. Well, here's the issue with that. With the plastic on the top being so flexible, pulling on it, and this being so tight in there, it doesn't pull the peg out. The peg wants to stay in there. So instead of pulling the peg out, what it's doing is whatever material that this uses, well, it's looped in there, and it's holding this in there so it can move. Well, guess what? That's a really bad issue, because it's so rubbery that it ended up breaking it. And the peg stayed in and the hand came out. Now, I could still move it, and I can still peg it in if I really wanted to. But every time you do, it's going to pull the peg out, or it's going to pull the hand off the peg, and it's really not fun putting this back in. I had to put this back in twice for this video. And the rest of the hands, except for the thumbs, have the same issue. The thumbs, they're a little bit harder plastic, so I think you can get away with pulling them on and off. Maybe, maybe not, I don't know. I haven't really tried it that much. I'm not going to put these hands, or I'm not going to interchange these hands in this video. I'm not going to interchange these hands ever. I do not want any more breaking from the set, and I'm just not going to do it no more. So I'll show off the hands real quick before we shove them to the side and get to the rest of the figures. But I won't be pulsing them with these, and that is a real shame. And that is very aggravating. Here are the flat hands. Here's what I like to call the middle finger size holding hands. Here are the thumbs up hands. And here's a more relaxed holding type of hands. They're two different hands. They're both different, but they all have these joints. So, like I said, if you don't care and you want to keep putting them in and out, go ahead. I'm just telling you what my issues were, and I guarantee you others have the same issue. So, getting into the main figures, they all come with an extra version of the back of their masks, their bandanas. So, you can have one flowing this way, one flowing that way. Because the bigger ones were cloth, they could flow whatever way you want them to. So, you know, we'll just use Raph as an example. So, and it is articulated somewhat with the peg in there, so you can move it around if you wanted to. When you're taking these in and out, I recommend, I don't know what to do about this situation, but maybe over time it's going to get brittle, so it could twist this peg off. If that happens, you're pretty much screwed. That's what any peg issues though. So, like I said, after the hand situation, I'm very OCD about protecting these figures. But I've heard issues of people not being able to peg these in and out or not. I haven't not had an issue with any of these guys pegging these in or moving them around. I've heard people complaining that the bandanas are bigger than they should, the pegs, and that's not an issue of mine at least, so I can't really agree to that. So, yeah. Every figure comes with a slice of pizza, and they're all the same. Sculpt, paint, whatever, they're the same thing. The original box set had 8. This only has 4. Each one has 1. Doesn't come with a pizza box that looks like Domino's. Doesn't come with the TCRI canister. Those were part of that set, as that was the exclusive parts of it. Whatever. Here's what the pizza looks like. Yeah, some red on the side. Some brown as on the crust. Some white cheese, and this isn't my kind of pizza, but it is a pizza nonetheless. They don't go as far as they would in like a cartoon or something with worms and gummy bears and stuff like that. So it's a normal pizza. This was the movie after all, so. They all come with their respective weapons. We'll go ahead and take their extra bandana pieces to the side. We want to see what they look like. They're all the same, really. It doesn't really matter. Just blue, red, orange, and purple. Alright, so we talked about the issues. Let's just get into the rest that's good about these sets. Alright, so let's go into Wrath's size. So he holds them tight, so you're not gonna have them hold them and they're gonna be wobbling and loose holding. They hold them really good. That's mainly because the hands are a harder plastic, so that's great. And you can get these guys in really good poses, from what I've seen. I'm a little more careful with mine. I don't want mine to break, so I haven't really tried to put these guys in really insane poses, but I have gotten them in more jumping poses or running poses or action poses. I've done that, but I've done it a little bit more cautionly, I guess. That's not really a word, but he does have a place to hold his size on his belt. And that was interesting. I didn't even know this was a feature on this figure until I picked him up. So that was pretty cool to see. Now for mine, my belt's not glued on like the rest of them, so that's an issue. Not bad issue. I can fix that on my own. And they're not a tight fit, so that's not bad. Too tight. Leo has his sheaths. You can easily put them in like that. Easily. Now what I say is, since these swords are a little bit delicate, a little fragile feeling, if you're going to have a pose on his back, be careful, because if these fall, they can easily snap, and especially snap in the thing. So just be careful. And Leo can put them in his hands like so, and they're a tight fit. And I like when they can hold them with a tight grip. That way they're not going to come off. They're secure in there, so that's good. And you can get them posed with their weapons. Now, I do have a complaint with Mikey's weapon, his nunchucks. They're on like a cheap kind of string thing here, which I've heard reports of breaking, snapping, and falling off. Well, I have a simple situation, or a simple fix to that. If mine ever happens to do that, this might be a better thing to do. So with all these figures, they'll come with these black, twist ties. Little bendy wire twist ties. I love these because I use these for custom pieces. Now, if these would ever break, they're a thin enough material to where I think they could be a better replacement. And since they're bendable, you can actually pose them. So I would say this is probably a better bet anyways. So I might down the road just go ahead and cut these off or break them off or whatever, and just put these on instead. And I might make it a little bit longer so Mikey can do his little thing right there. So that might be something I might do down the road. What I also might do is use these to make Donnie's little fabric things and replace them with twist ties, because I think that'd be better. They'll be a little bit smaller, so they'll hide a lot better, and yeah, whatever. It won't look as silly, and it won't break as easily. Mine's not broken, it just came apart, and it's so small I'm not going to bother doing that. But Mikey can hold his weapons. Like I said, I'm kind of a little careful with Mikey's arm. It is a little loose, and I don't want it to break. If it is broken, I don't think it is. I just think with the heat, the blow dryer just really loosened that peg, so. And Donnie, like I said, Mikey doesn't have a place to hold his weapons. I've seen on the back, he could hold them on the front. Since this is glued, you can't, but you can technically have him hold on the side, I guess. I would say you could put, and if this wasn't broken or messed up, you could. The bottom one's still there, so, but it's so loose, I can't really hold Donnie's thing there. Maybe I can pull that to tighten it a little bit, but I can, but it's worthless trying to fix this. Like I said, I'm just going to replace it with those bendy wires, so. But in theory, and it was like this when I opened it, you could, in theory, it would hold this. Because I believe the San Diego Comic-Con exclusive didn't have this. And this is just a cheap way of doing it, and I gotta say, that's ridiculous. Neca, you could have done better than fabric little pieces of crap like this. This is just to cut costs. You could have done better. I'm gonna be very harsh about these, because I am very disappointed in the hands, so I don't know what to say. But I will say, issues I've seen other people have, I haven't had issues. Like the bandanas, haven't had issues with. Eyes, I don't really have an issue with the eyes. The eyes are okay on mine. I'll show you. You can't tell. I don't have the best camera, like I said. In many videos, I have a crappy PS4 camera. But when I say the eyes are alright, they're alright. I need to get a better camera one day. But the eyes are fine on mine. I would say the best ones are Mikey and Donnie. Raph is, well, I wouldn't say it's an issue. It's just more his eyes are looking this way. And I don't like that. I like figures' eyes to look forward. Just look forward. Not to the side, not to the left, not up or down. Look front. Leo has a little bit of a cross-eye issue right here. One eye is looking this way and the other one's looking straight. And I say be careful, and then, yeah. So there is some eye issues, I guess, but the rest of them, they're fine. They hold their weapons perfectly fine and all that. Now, I will say this. They are all the same figures. Minus their head sculpts, minus their back, their little strap pieces, they are all the same. Same articulation, same everything, because at the end of the day, they are the same base figures. Before we get on to articulation, though, I'm going to take their weapons out, and we're going to compare them to the only other NECA turtle figures I do have in my collection. Alright, so I have the comic book turtle figures. I know they're bootlegs. It's okay. I haven't had any issues with them except for Leo's arm snapping off outside the box. They were perfectly fine figures, whatever. I got them really cheap. So these are the technically only NECA figures of turtles I have. These are actually the only turtle figures I have left as a kid, because I picked these up maybe about a year ago. So they're fine. But I used to have a big turtle collection. I used to have the old movie star turtles, the original squishy movie turtles that Playmates did. I had the original turtle figures. I had one of the turtle party vans, whatever, one of the turtles' cars. I did have the 2003 turtle figures. I did have a full. I did have almost a full collection of the 2012 turtle figures, at least the main 4 turtles. So I'm a big turtle guy. I like the Ninja Turtles. Down the line, down the road, I ended up giving them away or putting them in yard sales. So, I still like them, but I don't collect them as much. But the NECA ones were so good, I couldn't pass them by. So, but you can see that the comic book turtles are really smaller than the movie ones, and that's okay. I'll be trying to pick up the cartoon ones at Target whenever they get out, or I think they're already out by the time this video comes out. So whenever they do, I'm going to be searching for them. And what's going to happen with those is, if I do get them, I'll be doing one of the 4 2-packs as a review on its own until I get to the last one, and we'll just compare them all then, and whatever. But for now, we just have these 2, and they'll be posed together until I get my cartoon turtles to pose with them as well. But this is the Leo one compared to the Leo movie version. We'll move him out of the way. Here's Raph compared to his comic book counterpart. here's Mikey compared to his comic book counterpart. And I like how they both have goofy smile looks on them. Unfortunately, the cartoon Ninja Turtles don't have the smiles that they should in the cartoon on the figures. It kind of sucks. At least give Mikey a smile, but he's got a frown too, just like the original Playmates figures did. Maybe that was on purpose, but I don't know. It's just I want my Michelangelo smiling. And especially if they're from the cartoon, I want them all to smile. It's like when they do Superman and they don't have him smile. It's stupid. Here's Donnie with his comic book counterpart. Alright. Speaking of Superman, I guess the only other figure I have that on hand that I can really pose with these guys is this. What is this guy? It's just a Superman I had on my shelf. I think it's the DC Essentials Superman. He's very loose. I'm not gonna review this guy. His head's extremely loose. I'm not a fan. I've heard complaints with the feet. The feet aren't the best, but they've complained that you can't get him to stand all that well. Well, there you go. I haven't really had issues of him not standing right, but he looks good with the turtles. I got this guy mainly because my Mezco Batman should be coming in soon, and I wanted a Superman to compare him to, or to pose with him, and I'm not going to pay outrageous prices for a 1/12 Superman from Mezco. Alright, so let's go on articulation. We'll just use Leo as our base figure. Head goes, well, we'll just stick his bandana can go all the way around, but, it can't technically, but, yeah. So head goes all the way around, goes about that much, down about that much, can tilt, it's on a ball joint. Arms go up about that much, they go all the way around. The elbow can swivel there, and it can swivel here, and swivel there. Double bend at the elbow is hindered by the elbow pad here. Hand is on a hinge and on a swivel. Be careful pulling these off. Like I said, this is a hard plastic, so I don't have as much concern with this as the others. There is a ball joint at the torso, so you can have your turtles tilt from side to side, and goes out and back. There's a little weird shell part here that will bend with it, which looks good. You can't see because it's pretty dark, but legs go out about that much, maybe a little bit more, and well, it goes about that much. Out about that much. Back, not really. Double bend at the knees. And there's a swivel at the knee right there. Can't really do much because it's pretty stiff. Be careful with that. Foot goes down pretty good. Goes up pretty good. And its ankle pivot goes about that much. So like I said, you can get these in ridiculous fighting poses, but I probably is going to be pretty careful with their posing on my shelf. I really do like these figures. I know I've complained about them, but I absolutely love them. They look great. And to be honest, there's only 3 Turtle movie figures out there, not carrying no stupid Ninja Turtles 3 figures I've seen and had. Regardless, these are the best ones. Okay, the bigger Playmate ones I've seen, the 7-inch ones, get rid of them. They suck. They look like they're from the movie. They look like they're from the cartoons. The old Playmates ones, those are rubbery and cool looking, but these look like they're straight out of the movie. They pose alright. They got the accessories you need. Only complaints I have is, well, the hands. I wish they would have either used a harder plastic for the hands or use a different way of putting the joint in so it wouldn't have broke easily. I wish they would have done something better for Donnie's holster for his bow staff, and maybe use a better material for Mikey's nunchucks. That's all the things I could say that they could have fixed about it. Really, the only other issues is with Mikey's arm, but that's just an issue of trying to get the plastic to loosen up. And that's, maybe I might have overdid it on him. I don't know. But at the end of the day, I like these guys. It's just gotta be something it's worth picking up for you guys. This wasn't really that difficult picking up. I mean, I have like 3 or 4 GameStops by me, right? And the only one that's close by me, technically where I live, they never got them in, and the guy who run the store wasn't really the nicest guy, so whatever. I did pick up Mikey, Leo, and Donnie at a mall GameStop, so yay. I had to go all the way to another state to pick Raph up, though. And, it was only about, go over a bridge and go to the nearest Walmart, and there was a GameStop, whatever. So it wasn't that hard to get him, but like I said, yeah, they are, if you really want them, go look for them and you'll find them. Same thing with the Target ones. I don't think it's going to be that difficult getting them. I have 2 Targets where I live, so I'll find them eventually. And you will too. If you're scared because you're not seeing these guys, if you want to buy these guys online, you're not going to be able to. That's what I wanted to do. I just wanted to get these guys, buy them on the website, and that. But no. If you're one of these turtle figures, just go out and get them. Go pick them up physically, because they're probably not going to be putting them back on the website anytime soon. So go pick them up if you're interested in them. Now, like I said, I've complained about them, but in my opinion, if I knew about the issues, would I still pick them up? You bet your butt I would. They're still good figures. I enjoy them. I enjoy pulsing them, and I enjoy looking at them. They're good figures, and they remind me of my childhood. So, I'm going to give these guys an 8 out of 10. So, alright. I will see you guys in the next video. Bobby, out.